It's 11 minutes past 8. You're right up to date with the news. Let's update you on something that we've been following for the last 80 days.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
We've been following this journey since he set off 80 days ago. Yesterday, Mark Beaumont completed his record-breaking feat of cycling around the world.
He rode into Paris yesterday, marking the completion of his 18,000-mile journey in just 79 days. We'll join Mark and his family in a moment. They are prepared, they are ready, but first, let's have a little look back at their amazing challenge. Okay, and will he come on when you finished?
Yeah, if
you can walk.
Exactly. I might well need a seat at that point.
3, 2, 1, start. Come on, Mark. I thought it was just a bit of sitting water, and my front wheel went in, and it was just a huge hole.
A massive storm blew in. It was absolutely wild. I was really fighting the bike.
Well, that's 9,000 miles and halfway around the world.
The amount of support along the roadside, especially in Australia and New Zealand and across North America here, has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing to be back in Europe. Great feeling. Mentally, I feel pretty switched on, feel great after the flight. Physically, I'm pretty sore.
So, when you get to that finish line, which you'll be arriving at very soon, what's the first thing you're going to do?
My 4-year-old Harriet has already backseat the first couple. She said, you know, Mum's not even allowed to get to me first, so that's pretty sweet. I can't wait to see my 2 little girls. Families, friends, there's been an amazing public response to this journey around the planet, so it's going to be a big finish. It's going to be hugely exciting.
Oh, brilliant stuff. And here are the family. We've got Mark, we've got Nikki, we've got Harriet and Willa. Good morning to you all. Joining us from Paris, where, Mark, I know you arrived yesterday. Now, you said to us yesterday, Mark, that Harriet, your 4-year-old, who I believe is on your lap there, was going to have the first cuddle. What was that cuddle like for the pair of you?
Oh, fantastic. Did you enjoy the finish, Harriet? Was it good to have Daddy back? Yeah, it was good fun. It was just amazing. I mean, the finish was an absolute blur. I mean, there was so many people turning out. I had a peloton of riders in from Versailles, in through the outskirts of Paris. You know, I've probably imagined and dreamed about that finale 100,000 times. So to get there was indescribable.
Oh, how fantastic. Nikki, you must have been mightily relieved to get him back.
Yeah, very relieved, very relieved. You can't quite accept that he's home until you actually see him past that finish line, and then up until that point the nerves were intense.
I know you will have watched his journey incredibly closely, and what were your main concerns?
I think the sleep was one of my main concerns, to be honest. But then I say that he had a team around him 24/7. I've never experienced that with Mark on an expedition before. So whilst there was concerns, they weren't nearly as bad as anything before. So just making sure he was getting enough sleep to keep on going, that was the biggest priority for me.
Since the 2nd of July. Since the 2nd of July, I've not had more than 5 hours a night sleep, and that goes for the support team as well. And there was quite, significant periods where we couldn't communicate because I was just 16 hours a day on the bike, focused on the task in hand. So I've probably not been the best dad, best husband for not just the last 2 months, but the year building up to this. It's been a huge project for my entire friends and family. So I think huge relief this morning to get to Paris and realise that we've done it.
Nikki says she was worried about the lack of sleep, Mark. I was interested in what it's done to your body, because I was reading this morning that obviously you've been on a bike for 16 hours, but your body hasn't been doing some of the other normal things. So even walking up a flight of stairs has caused you quite a bit of pain. Can you explain what's happened to you, sort of physiologically?
Yeah, I mean, I've not really walked for the last 2.5 months. So I've ridden 18,000 miles, riding 16 hours a day. I mean, it's a pretty brutal schedule, and keep in mind the previous best time was 123 days. I've just gone around the planet in just over 78 days. There was no real reference point for that as to what it would do to me physiologically, and there's quite a lot going to happen now in terms of training down over the next couple of months, medical tests to make sure I've not hurt myself long term. Specific things like, when I had a pretty serious crash early on, get my elbow x-rayed because that was badly damaged, get my tooth rebuilt, a trip to the dentist. So there's quite a lot of work now to be done. I mean, you know, I might be smiling, but I'm very, very sore this morning.
And somebody who definitely wants your attention, or certainly her mum's attention, is Willa. And she couldn't walk when you left, but she certainly can now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's definitely inherited some of those active genes. So Willa started walking since I left home 2.5 months ago, and this one had her 4th birthday, so I've got a lot to catch up on. But I think 10 years ago when I cycled around the world the first time, you know, it was just me. I was out there, I was on my own. But this time, to be out there with a full support team and to have a family like this back home, it's a completely different mindset. You know, this has been my greatest dream. You know, I was a 12-year-old boy who pedalled across Scotland, and 2 decades later, you know, this is built up to, can you get around the world in 80 days? And what I love about that, this simple idea, maybe the simplest of adventures, is it seems to have captured the imagination of a global audience, not just back home in the UK, but all around the world. People coming out on the roadside and supporting me and riding with me, and you know, it's just lovely to see how people related to this idea of can you power yourself around the planet in 80 days.
Nikki, I know you must feel incredibly proud. You've got 2 world records there just to your left-hand side, and it must be lovely to have Mark back. But also, there's got to be a bit of payback here. I mean, he's not been doing the job of the father for quite some time.
We're even. We're good. Aren't we?
It's a bit difficult to compare the 2 things. You know, I think Mark needs to sleep a lot, so in many ways he can babysit and I can go and have a little bit of fun.
And when are you going to get them their first bikes, or have they already got them up?
On a bike, you say? Well, I have to train down. I'm not allowed to stop.
When will the girls go on a bike?
Oh, the girls. Well, this one's pretty good on a bike. Do you like riding your bicycle?
Yeah. Oh.
So Harry's pretty good on a bicycle, and this one's just absolutely nuts, as you can see. So I don't think we're going to have any problem. She's already trying to get on her big sister's bicycle. So yeah, I think we've. And do you know the question I get asked all the time? You know, what would I say if one of these guys turned around and said they wanted to cycle around the world? So we'll just have to see, eh? Do you want to cycle around the world?
Not right now.
Oh, it's great to talk to you all. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you back together as well. And congratulations again on not just the achievement, but both those world records. It's lovely to see the family back together as well. Thank you for coming on the programme, guys.
Thank you very much, breakfast.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Willa.
She was active, wasn't she, Willa?
We've been looking at lovely views this morning.